And for the next 5 or 6 hours, depending on how much we put in the still, you can see everything boiling away and bubbling away like you can through the windows here. But although everything's at boiling point, when you look at that little temperature gauge on this big column, it'll only be reading 80 degrees centigrade. So that's the boiling point of ethanol, 78.4 in fact. And the first clue that we're getting towards the end of the run is when this temperature gauge starts to increase. And what that tells me is all the ethanol has now been driven out of the still, and it's now sending through other substances with a higher boiling point. So now it's the ethanol in the column that's got the lowest boiling point. So that's always the one that's going to come off preferentially and move up the column to be replaced from the bottom upwards by these higher boiling point substances. And when the highest boiling point substances reach the temperature gauge, that's what starts it increasing. Yeah? And it keeps working its way up. 20 minutes later, the second one goes. 20 minutes after that, the third, then the fourth. And when the fifth one goes, we know we're getting to at the end of the run. So we come down here, we start taking samples and sniffing again. And when the time is right, shut this valve, open this one, and collect the dregs of the product down in this tank down here. So we end up with 3 parts. We call them heads, hearts and tails. In the whiskey industry they'd be called foreshot, spirit and faints, but they're all the same thing. Basically methanol, ethanol and everything else.